loser. All right, you loser. All right, you're the loser.
That's us
for
being
making fun of people.
right now.
So let people have New Year's resolutions. You loser. All right. There's the intro clip.
Happy New Year. Welcome to 2023. What a time to be alive. Today, we'll be discussing all of our goals, our intentions, everything. Not only for us, not only for our content creation aspirations, but the world in general, and maybe even the stream room right now. This is the podcast about content creation by content creators for content creators. It's been a whole year. I am one of your hosts, Reapz.
Hello.
I am Eljay in the year 2023.
Whoa. You're robotic in 2023. Wow, he flipped us off. What the
And I am Future-tacular, otherwise known as Nick-tacular. Hi.
How
Welcome,
you
everyone.
going? It's been such a long time since I've seen you boys. I mean, I think last week we were discussing Christmas stuff.
No, I forget things within a second.
Yeah.
But hold on, question. Future-tacular. Wouldn't your name just be, because future is, wouldn't you just be called Tech-tacular?
You know, yes. You know what?
Wouldn't that have been a better name? Just saying.
Yeah, maybe it would be. Maybe I should start a YouTube channel called that.
I think you
Oh,
should.
maybe.
Just feels weird. Just feels like, I feel like that should have been what came to head, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, suffering from a hangover because obviously New Year's was yesterday and we all had a crazy night. Boys, what did you get up to on your New Year's Eve night?
Oh, I can't drink because I'm pregnant.
Oh, okay. You heard it here first. Nick, are you also pregnant?
Yeah, with also with Eljay's baby as well. Shock, horror, twist.
This is a prediction that I did not foresee. But again,
Neither did I.
Surprise.
It is 2023. And like every good person out there, because we totally don't fall into that stereotype, we have our New Year's resolutions. Now, of course, we are all in the realm of content creation. If you're listening as well, you're in the realm of content creation. And you know what helps content creators? Likes, comments, subscribbles, everything like that. So please consider it if you do enjoy what you're listening to. But boys, let's get right into the meat of the matter. Our resolutions or goals, I should say, for the year 2023. Have you written down a few? I can't do the same clip twice in 2 weeks about
What if
wanking.
you can and you will?
No,
all right?
hang
You
on,
can and you will.
No.
Shouldn't the goal have been not wank?
Professionalism, and that's what we try to achieve. Oh my God. Our resolutions, boys. Have we written down what we would like to do in the new year?
I want to start by calling people out.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Let's piss everybody off.
We know we can take any time to be better people, okay? I know. I get it. New Year's resolutions are dumb. They're dumb. Oh, why would you do them? Just be a better person any day. You don't need a starting line. It's called fucking starting lines make it easier. And you should never make fun of someone for trying to be a better person. Yeah, I know 30 people all say they want to start going to the gym, and only 2 of them are probably still doing it within 3 weeks of the year starting. But you know what? How many people would have kept doing it had you just been supportive? Maybe. Huh? You loser. All right? You loser. All right? You're the loser.
That's us
for
being
making fun of
supportive
people.
right now,
You're
calling
the
losers.
loser for making fun of people who just want to be better. Okay? So let people have New Year's resolutions. You loser. All right? Oh, okay. Sorry.
There's the intro clip.
There's the intro. Okay, thank you. We've got an alternate take.
Why
this is great.
every intro clip going to be me yelling?
Because that's what you do well. I mean, when we think of intros, it's you yelling at the crowd. I mean,
the one from 2 weeks ago was me going, "Sort your out, I'm done."
yeah, and then there was the one of me going, "Here's a real heartfult moment," and you're like, "Yeah, it was a piece of shit, is what it was."
Yeah,
Remember that?
just agreeing. Yeah,
I
that one.
subvert
expectations.
All right. Fine. Boys, we should actually get to the meat of the issue now.
You sound like I get Ludwig
agree with
vibes
me
where
right
every
now,
time
like,
every time Reapz is like, all right, boys, like just like a Ludwig video.
Boys. No, you're right. You're right. I know that there's always the people who are like, you should just do it immediately. Whatever new resolution that you want to do, you don't have to wait till New Year's to do it. You should do it immediately. And I agree, but also like let people have their fun. It's a tradition. Everyone does it. And it's always nice to look back on a calendar year and go, January 1st, December 31st, here's what I've achieved or not achieved, or these are the mistakes or successes that I also have put under my belt. So for us boys, who would like to kick off our New Year's resolutions for content creation?
I will, because I'm going to sidetrack us again.
Yes!
Okay,
Excellent.
first, can we talk about what makes a good goal? And I don't mean that whole SMART goal thing. We've all talked about SMART goals enough. What do you think makes a good a good goal. You know what I mean?
With the right foot in the top corner of the net.
That was a bit messy. Let's consider this fact. Okay, let's consider this. A good goal.
I regret it. People who talk suck. Okay, I just regret it all. Never mind, you're the losers. What is this?
What is happening here? Okay, a good goal for me
It's
is...
been 3 weeks since the football.
I know. Oh, that's true. Yeah, apologies. Yes, 3 weeks. I would say a good goal is what Nick said, obviously, but also the fact that it's attainable. I think a lot of people could put goals down that are crazy in terms of what they think is good. It's like, I want $1 million. You know what I mean? I think you have to
That's
do...
mine today. I want that.
You want $1 million? I mean, as much as we all love it.
that would be helpful. Should I just buy lotto tickets?
I think it has to be very specific goals is what I'm really angling for. But if you've got a very general one of like, I want $1 million, it's like, that's great, but how do you achieve it? So if you do have a thing of like, I want to be successful in content creation, that to me isn't a goal, because what is success?
What determines
What
success?
determines success? So it's what
Buzzer
matters
once
to
said
you.
that success is determined by whether or not he's excited to show what he made to someone he knows in real life.
Is that what we
But
said?
that's what Buzzer said. But when I asked him about success, he said, I feel like I've been successful if I'm excited or are happy to show someone what I've made from real life.
That's
if
true.
If you're scared to show someone the content you've made that you know in real life, it means that you haven't succeeded. You should be proud of what you've made, which I thought was a really interesting
It's
take.
a very good point. I do believe that you have to have a level of excitement, but I know that I would never be excited to show my parents this is what I've done as a video, because they just wouldn't understand it. You know what I mean? Like
I don't show my mum because I know she'll dox me by accident.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
She'll be like, look at my son. Here's his full name. I'm so proud of him.
That's a lovely mum, though. I mean,
It
you know,
is.
yeah.
She is lovely, but like all mums, incredibly intense.
Yes.
As that's just what it is, right?
Yeah. That's fair enough.
That's-
So
that's-
to
yeah,
me,
absolutely
a
fair.
successful goal is something that's specific, that gets you to your overall kind of, I don't know, state of happiness. That to me is a good goal.
Okay.
Interesting. Nicholas.
I thought we'll go like more specific. I mean, like I just like had some like kind of, I guess, more number achieved goals of like what I want to achieve for the channel.
I have no analytic based goals today.
Yeah. No,
Because I've got on the Stream Scheme Discord, I made a channel called Share Your Wins, which I was terrified would just turn out as a fucking self-promo channel, but it's been pretty good. No one's really self-promoed. But all people share in there is their wins of their analytical wins. And it's one thing I've learned over the last 6 months is how much I hate analytical wins. Like, I'm like so tired of it. So now I've got no analytical wins, like none to do with numbers. It's all to do with personal growth or releasing amounts of things.
Okay. How do you show like a personal growth achievement? Is it more like, here's the story, or?
It's less so about being like, I want 500 views or 20,000 subs, and more about like, I'd like to release 3 pieces of content that made me proud.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
So like there's analytics in the sense that there's a number of like to achieve, so let's say specific, but then there's also the side of it, which is about like, it's about personal controlling of a thing, you know, or like, I want to prove that I've learned 20 new things and I'll keep track of my 20 things as a list. You know what I mean?
I like that.
I think for me it's with how like sort of, I guess, with the new sort of like focus and direction going forward, this bit of a combo is like, I want to stop, like I want to put less pressure on myself with streaming.
Mm-hmm.
You did that on purpose, didn't you?
No, keep going.
He's waiting for you to talk. He's waiting for you to talk. Nick.
He is.
Sorry,
it's
you
a
just keep
it's a
going.
standoff right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Reach, just
listening.
mute this. Yeah, okay. And also I want to fucking
This is how our new year's starting, boys. This is the whole genesis of where we are to where we're going to be.
he
Audio
knows
listeners,
as well.
you can hear it,
he's
but
doing this to someone with ADHD is just he knows that he can get me. Just like, what is going on? No, realistically, my goal. I actually want to really put the most amount of effort that I've ever put in for content creation in general in this coming year for the tech channel. Like I've been saying it, and that is going to be my focus, and it is. The Logitech video was like the proof of concept that I can do this and I want to do this and I am passionate. And I want to start off by releasing a video every 2 weeks for the first few months while I get into the rhythm, and then working to 1 video a week.
Great.
And I really want to, and I'm already sort of like finding my exact sort of like my unique content value with my videos, where there's there's not really many Australian tech creators, right? And the ones that do exist, they're the very like kind of Linus Tech Tips-esque channels, but there's not really anyone sort of in sort of this sort of my sort of more casual tech realm of like, oh yeah, here's some like 5 budget, like, you know, little content creation like devices, or, you know, stuff like that. And so targeting that niche, and then, but also going in depth with a lot of different, like a whole different range of things, not just like, you know, PC components and things like that. I think is going to be a really unique sort of perspective to bring. And that's, so my goal is I want to be making videos that really stand out and provide value, which will I want to help me get to my goal of, it's a little bit of a lofty goal, but 10,000 subs by the end of 2023. That is my goal for the YouTube channel.
That's nothing. You can get that in like 2 months.
Yeah.
That's not a lofty goal.
I don't know what to expect.
I got 3,000 subs on a channel that's doing way less in a month.
All right, fine. 50,000. There we go. Is that
now you're getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Split the difference.
Why don't you keep it simple? Keep it small. Keep it achievable, for fuck's sake. We talked about that earlier, Nick. Come on.
Sorry. Shit. 49,000.
Okay, yeah, that's achievable.
There we go. Better. But no, I think recently for me, and I don't know if it's just the stress of, and like how much, like me being sick and top of working Christmas and things like that. But recently I've really, I guess, felt that weight and pressure of just, you know, streaming. And I guess not that I'm not enjoying Yu-Gi-Oh anymore, but I guess wanting that sort of freedom to like, yeah, I don't feel like playing Yu-Gi-Oh tonight. I want to play something else, and being able to like flip that schedule, which is what happened on Sunday, where I was like really exhausted. And then me and the chat decided, yeah, we're just going to play Pokemon. And then
This
just ended up
Sunday 2 weeks ago, right?
Sunday 2 weeks ago. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It just ended up being just a really fun stream. I was unhinged. It was just a great fun stream, because we just decided I don't really feel like playing Yu-Gi-Oh tonight, so we're going to play something else. And I guess having that sort of like freedom just was so nice. And so I think I obviously I'm still, you know, wanting to kind of check the milestone of getting partner like Twitch partner, but I definitely want to just have less stress on myself with that, and really putting forward like the YouTube channel as the priority focus, and where all that time is going into. And honestly, I could not be more excited. Like, I cannot wait for January. We are in January. Sorry. I mean, I'm so excited that right now we're in January.
I got an idea for a show for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Your name's Tech-tacular, right?
Yes.
Because you're obsessed with Dracula. It's your thing. Like, that's the whole reason you chose that name, right? For Nick-tacular and Tech-tacular. Okay. So here's here's your new show. It's called Tech Bites. Okay. And they're shorts, YouTube shorts, and they're bite-sized little reviews of tech, because you love Dracula and he bites people. So you have a little animation that pops up, and it's like Tech Bites, ooh, bite, and then it's like a 30 to 45 second of little tech information that's short form content. I think it's great. I think it's great. We're laughing, but I think it's a great idea.
I love everything about that except the heavy-handed of like the Dracula part.
Well, why'd you name yourself after him then, you
Because
Galumba?
I couldn't have it with the R.
I think that should be your New Year's resolutions. Hunt down Nick-tacular and make sure that he hands over the R to you.
It is a different person that owns Nick-tacular with the R and Tech-tacular with the R on every platform. It's not the same. It's like
crazy.
a different person on like every platform. So that's why I had to cut the R completely.
That's fine, but I think my idea is good.
Yeah,
I like the Tech Bites thing, but like I actually like that's cool. But I'm just, you know, not Look, it's dumb.
Your branding, man.
Yeah.
Don't keep coming after me about the branding. It's your branding. I'm just making it work. All right.
You need to play on spectacular, okay? Because I'm fucking spectacular.
Spectacular has an R on the end though, so
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We need to get back on the ship right now and steer it towards.
Yeah, Eljay has
lighthouse.
cunt in it. I love this so much. This is the best day of my fucking life.
Dude, This is our first podcast back in 2023, and it's just us yelling at
Off
each other,
to a
and it's great.
fantastic start.
It is. It's a great start, isn't it, when we think about it? Would you like to say your goal or one of your goals for the year?
I will start with one of my goals.
Sure.
I feel like we should have like what category? What are the goal
This is the content
categories?
creation category. This is
just content creation.
Just this bit now. We'll talk about other goals, but just now, content creation.
I think I would just like to start. I would like to recognize names.
Okay.
There was a really good moment with Stream Scheme after videos started doing well, where I started recognizing names in the comments who would come back and watch every single one. And again, I'm not doing analytical goals. I think analytical goals, for me personally, I've passed them. I'm a higher level being now. Okay, I don't care about those things. This little sub badge here, this thing up here, you guys can't see it. Maybe cut to the wide. It's 100,000 subs. I'll throw that out. I don't care. Fuck it. It means nothing. So I think I would like to get to the point on the LJM channel where I start recognizing new people's names, people who keep coming back and they're excited to see the content and be there for the content. That's a goal of mine. Because I already reached one of my goals this year. One of my goals this year was I wanted to have people comment, "Wow, you're so underrated. I thought you had more subs on the LJ channel," which I got. And I was like, the moment I got that thing, I tweeted out about it and I said, "This is the dream come true when people start saying this. This happened on the Stream Scheme." And then a few weeks later, a video went viral. And I tweeted out about how I'd gotten that comment on the LJ channel, said all that stuff. Literally 2 weeks later, a video went viral. I think that is it's a weird thing. I've got a theory that YouTube sends bots out to tell you. They're telling you like, "Hey, just a heads up. I wish you had more subs." And it's a secret account from YouTube to tell you they're about to fucking make you go viral. That's my theory.
Wow. Okay, you've heard it here first. If you ever receive a comment saying, "I think you should have more subscribers," and then something goes viral 2 weeks later, you know that is deep state working for you. And we salute Susan.
I've had a few of those comments on the Logitech videos. So when I release the next one, we'll see what happens.
Well, no, you've already had one do well, so it doesn't happen. No, it doesn't work twice. No.
You got to wait.
Lightning doesn't strike twice.
You go back to the back of the line again, all right?
Yeah,
until you get your
to the back of the line.
Yeah. For me, very, very general one. I would like to shift in terms of like, I would love for my YouTube channel to be monetized before June. And I would like half of my income to come from something that's not Twitch, if you know what I mean, within the content creation space. So yeah, that's a very general one. I just said I'm against general, but to me it's specific enough that, you know.
I think it's also very achievable.
Yes.
By the way.
Yes.
Because like if we look at a good example, I can give you a little example, is that I officially had ads appearing on the LJ channel as of the 13th of December. Okay. And I could show you more because I've definitely got the data. It's been weeks since then. But
If you could do it around like before Christmas, just give me those ones.
I'll do it till the 18th of December.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Because that makes sense because it's 6.
That's just a really nice day in general.
It's 5 nice days.
No one went on the internet during like Christmas, New Year's.
Everyone's away. We don't.
And I know
want those
everyone's
stats.
like, "Oh, do 7 days, so you get like every single day of the week, and you can see what the data is." I think 5 is just more accurate.
Is better. It's like a business week. Yeah.
So like on the 13th, I got monetized, right? And if we went to the 18th, it was $275 earned, right? And I didn't upload any videos other than shorts, and shorts aren't monetized. Hey, next month in February, all shorts get monetized, 45% ad revenue split.
Oh,
I thought you had to get, wasn't it like you had to get 10 million or something? Or is that just if you are already monetized?
If you are monetized,
Gotcha.
all shorts get monetized and you start making money off them as of February.
That's crazy cool.
How good is that, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be sick. But essentially like $270 in the space of 5 days, right? With no actual uploads that are monetized, just kind of running off what is going well on the channel already. Like that's sick.
That's
right?
amazing.
When you think about it, right? Because in the grand scheme of things, in those 5 days, I could have gone live maybe 3 times on Twitch. And unless I had sub goals, at the same time, I probably wouldn't have made 270. But if I had sub goals, which sometimes I did have sub goals, I could make way more than that. It's really weird, isn't it? How Twitch, you can monetize to such an nth degree, like such a really easy degree. Like, oh, I'm going to play Getting Over it and 5 subs makes me reset and you earn like 300 USD. It's like wild. But then if you just stay live and just as you are normally and you just exist, it could be like $30.
Yes.
Isn't it so weird?
Yep. It's
Whereas,
peculiar.
but also, yeah. So I don't know. So like, I think what you're saying there, Reapsy, it's totally doable, especially because that income I just talked about is a gaming channel, which the CPM on gaming channels is like $10.
That's
right?
the thing. Like for me is I don't want to be like a whole year because my goals sometimes aren't for like by the December 31st I want to do this. These are like shorter goals that I'm doing within the new year. So yeah, before June, mid-year, I would like for my YouTube channel to become monetized, and I would like to make a certain income. Doesn't have to be from YouTube. It can be from other content creation avenues that make up half of my income in the content creation sphere. So that is one of my goals.
Yeah, that's been awesome. Like I've been really like, it's been kind of crazy because that Logitech mouse video has gotten me all the watch hours already for monetization and got me to 500 subs. So I just need to get another 500 subs, and then I'm golden.
Shorts, tech bites. I'm telling you, tech bites. You'll get the subs. Seriously, one good like 5 or 6 shorts going out that are decent, and you'll definitely get it. But I'm saying decent, right? Like they have to be like proper, clean, especially on the tech space. No one's gonna watch it unless it's like, that's gonna be your biggest trouble, isn't it? Not because you're not good at it, but because the space is so brutal, right? Like
there is a very high expectation for like the clean aesthetic, the high production quality, all that kind of stuff. And like the thing is though, like I'm definitely making the most of the space that I have and the gear that I have too. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job with that. Like I've got, over time from streaming things like that, like I've got good audio, I've got like a good camera. So a lot of that I can do. I may not have a really aesthetic like background or like setup and things like that as, pretty much every tech creator does. But you know what? Like this background does the job. Yeah. It does for talking head, like it does the job. And then everything else I'm doing, I'm making sure it's nice.
I was watching a Q&A and someone asked a tech creator, I don't know which one it was, I'll have to go back and find it. They asked him, hey, how do you have such a clean setup for all of your videos of like your mice and your headsets and stuff? Because he has like, he records it on his desk and everything like that. And he was like, that's not my setup. My actual setup is fucking disgusting. It's trashed. That's my studio aesthetic. No one uses that. There's not even a computer under that desk. It's just a couple monitors set up really nicely, and I just film all my tech on that thing. And I was sitting there just being like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, that is literally
fake influencer. Yeah,
that is literally like the best way to do it because like I mean, there's some people that like have their own setups which are like always so clean and fancy, but it's like you need like that is the best way to do it. And I wish I had the space because then I'd love to do a video where it's like, oh, like here's how you can get like a nice little setup like on a budget type thing and maybe get some like brands involved to like get some stuff going and whatever. But like I just don't have the space for that. It sucks. But I'd love to do something like that.
Hey, I think it's a big part of it, to be honest. Speaking of goals and challenges and stuff like that, I think that a big challenge that I faced this year personally was
you mean previous year?
Yeah. So sorry, in the last year. Yeah. Good point. Good catch. Cool. So essentially, in the last year of 2022, not this year of 2023, I found a big challenge I came across was finding my tone. Okay. Someone who I think is a really lovely person. His name's O&O. Is the nickname I have for him. His actually name is Over and Out. He is in the stream scheme. And I saw him talking to someone about one of my old videos, which is a video where I told people how to get their mics to sound good, right? It's one of the best videos on my channel. It's also very free-flowing to the point where like a lot of the actual footage that I use isn't like me talking heads and cutting to overlay. It's actually mixed both, where I'm in a little box and I'm recording live and I turn a fan on that's blowing directly into the mic and it sounds awful, right? Like disgusting. And I show how to remove the fan to be like perfect, right? And it all works. And I saw him saying like, that was probably one of the videos where I was most myself, which I thought was really interesting because it's not like we're friends or anything. But so I was like, why did that one come across as authentic and like it was me? And that's got me thinking a lot about my tone and what works for me and what sounds good for me. And I think that's gonna be my big thing. One of the big challenges I had over the last year was finding my tone.
Okay.
And I think that the videos where I've had myself, the tone's been correct and honest and authentic, they've done a lot better, right? The Lechonk one was a good example of that. The video where I did 32 tips at the start of last year was really good for that. The video at the end of last year where I talked about how you should stop streaming in 2023 really resonated with people. I think a lot of those videos comes down to tone, which is not something I'd ever really thought about. Like I knew, but it's not something I thought about. And so I think that's a big one for me. A goal for this year is to kind of find my tone and my authentic kind of approach to these things, because I think it's very easy when you're starting out to go, as Nick said, to be a bit robotic, or to mimic people who inspire you, and therefore you lose your own unique selling point or your own unique self. So that's a big thing for me. And I think it's tricky though, because you got to kind of weirdly have a bit of confidence.
Oh yeah.
As well, because it's like, oh, that's not very funny. Oh, that's bad. That's cringy and stuff like that. Where it's like, no, that's you. You gotta stick. You may think it's cringy, but that's you, right? And like, there's lots of stuff in the Lechonk video that I wanted to cut, but I thought, no, I won't cut that. That's like me being me. I'll leave it. And the comments, people being like, that's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Right. And that was a big moment for me to be like, okay, we gotta go with my tone.
Yes.
Right.
And so you're saying your tone, just so that we're all clear, for your LJM gaming channel, not
For both.
Oh, for Stream Scheme
everything
as well?
I do.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, I find Stream Scheme, I'm really like presentery and professional sometimes. And I think that comes across as almost sometimes like I'm selling something.
Right.
And I think that sometimes dialing it back and being a bit more casual, much like we talked about on last week when we were recording, we were talking about Iona and how well she was doing by dialing back the professionalism and instead being a bit more honest and authentic and a bit more casual.
Yeah.
I think a big part of the Stream Scheme for me is going back to how I used to be, which was a lot more casual. You know, I think the videos that did the best were those more, hey guys, you know, let's talk about this here. Let's have a go around this, you know, stuff like that, rather than, did you know if you go live right now, you're going to die? You're going to fucking die. You know what I mean? Like, no way.
I think it's a mentality thing as well, for the fact of like, if you go, I need you to describe microphones to a class full of 30 people, you're going to be very teacher and authoritative. But if you go, can you explain this to your friend? Then you've got a completely different tone when you go to explain it, because it's more casual, it's more laid back. It's like, I don't know, we're just joking around, you know, yeah, no biggie. But when it's like, you know, people are paying for your time, it feels different. So I think completely correct there in terms of what is that tone? Because there's a point of like being too lackadaisical where you're just kind of like, I don't give a shit if it doesn't work for you, doesn't. Then people will be like, I don't really trust this guy because he doesn't seem that invested. But then there's the one where it's like, and as you can see here over in the formula, you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, like let loose a bit. So finding a tone is a very good one that I hadn't even thought of. That's a very good point.
My wife, when I said all this to her, specifically said that when it came time to record my VO for LJ videos, she said that she should just stand in front of my monitor.
Yeah.
And then it's as if it's like I'm explaining it to her.
That's good.
And I was like, that's such a good idea. You know what I mean? Like, that's such a good idea, because I'm so much more like, I'm also constantly, even though we've been together now for like 8 years, I'm still constantly trying to make her laugh, because it's just who I am. To much her disappointment. We need to talk about something seriously good, you know. But like, I don't know.
I want you to do that and then just have like a camera off to the side that just snaps a photo of just like the behind the scenes of it just standing there.
This is how I got my tone.
But like, I think it's like it is a really interesting concept to talk about the idea of tone. And I think the video that I released last week on the LJ channel about ranking gym leaders, which wasn't packaged that way, but that's kind of what it was. I think my tone didn't quite land. I won't talk about the analytics of it. It's definitely been out and it's definitely released, and I know how it did. But I feel like when I watched back the edit, the tone wasn't what I wanted it to be.
Okay.
It kind of missed the point a bit. I was a bit too nervous when I was doing it. So I think the Mario Party one will be really good. I'm currently editing that. Yeah, that definitely has been filmed and is definitely being edited. And that one,
yes.
that one
Because
I think was
it's
a really
2023, completely. Yes. Nick, do you have another goal or resolution?
Well, what I was going to touch as well, I think this, like, I'm glad you sort of brought up like tone, because I think that was what I was trying to say in last episode with when I was describing like my own process. Like your tone is so important, and like bringing your own personality into it while still keeping that essence of like a well-made video. Like I like, for example, like another tech YouTuber, like Random Frank P, who I take like a sort of as like inspiration from. Like he always tries to put in a your mum joke in every episode. Like he injects that personality. He has the kind of casual, genuine vibe about him while still being like a nice presenter who also knows what he's talking about. And that's like definitely the kind of vibe and tone that I want to achieve. But I won't get there until I put all the work in. Because like it's going to take time to get there from making these videos and refining. And also, you know, constantly watching back my own content and my own videos that I'm making, and finding that confidence and that comfort as you get into the routine of it all. And that like is genuinely exciting for me. Because like there's even pockets of the video, the Logitech video, where like, I'm a bit sort of stiff, but then there's also ones where I'm like, I'm coming off way more like sort of like a bit more casual and sort of like talking directly is like kind of like, yeah, like you said, like talking to a friend of like, yeah, look, like I was using this and it's like, this was just really annoying to me and this and that. But then I also tend to ramble, which is why I also did get the teleprompter, which has helped dramatically.
Yeah.
So it's like helps me keep that casual vibe while staying on track and hitting the beats that I want to hit. So
I find I've been doing some tests with the teleprompter to do dot points instead. So like I have a full script if I need it, but I have dot points on the teleprompter instead. And that way the dot points kind of give me the time to move across without rambling a little bit. Like, so I get my point across, do a little extra, and then I can just cut the little extra if I don't like it and just follow it naturally. And that's been helping a lot as well with finding a bit more of an authentic voice. And if it's tech-based, it might be the same for you, to be honest. To be like, here's the specs. I've got the specs on my teleprompter. It says a little dot point of, does it matter? Do I like it? Whatever it is, you can go on your little rant and just cut it if you end up not liking it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No,
think
that's actually really good.
I think it's good to do multiple takes, not in terms of doing the same thing over, but in terms of you've got your scripted one, you say your scripted one, you do all that. And then as Eljay says, have a dot point one where you can kind of go off the cuff and then, intersplice if it works like that, if the tone's kind of similar. Because again, it is finding that thing of like, here's educational and here's personality. And I'm trying to meld the two because,
Half the time, like when I was like, because I made the Logitech video before like I got the teleprompter, and like half the time like I'd be obviously reading this little bit of the script to like memorize it so I could talk to the camera.
Yeah.
And half the time I would end up like just swapping words around or condensing a sentence or maybe extending this part like just off the cuff because I'm like that just felt more natural to me. Felt more natural coming off as I was delivering that part of the script. And so having like a little dot pointed sentence to kind of get you started and kind of get it going. Then you can kind of look back and think, was I rambling? Did I kind of hit those points? And then what I would do is I would go back and be like, okay, so I was rambling a bit there. Let me try that again. But now that I've kind of got my head on track of what I want to say, re-deliver it came across a lot smoother, not as rambly, more condensed, but still natural.
Love
and
it.
It's just from practice. It was
Yeah,
good.
that's I was going to say for one of my other goals or resolutions this year is to focus a lot more on shorts in general. I really want it to be kind of like maybe a video every 2 weeks and then at least 4 shorts a week. So 4 times 52 is what, 208, whatever it is. So 208 shorts this year would be great. And I also, along with that, would like to do an original TikTok thing just for TikTok, like in the world, per week. So 52 overall for the year, in terms of actual ideas, not cut downs of the videos, not cut downs of streams or anything, actually making it for TikTok. Here I am, here's an idea, here's a skit, here's advice, whatever it is, just so that I can go over those variations and see if it does maybe change how I go approaching shorts in general, and also trying to reach that TikTok demographic, which I can't, attain at the moment. So I want to learn more about that. So shorts to me are a big focus this year that I really want to put my hands all over. Yeah.
I genuinely like the Tech Bites idea, LJ. But also Reapz, I like that's something I want to do as well. Like I want to, like I've had so many ideas for like content ideas that are specifically for short format that work really well, and then I want to work on those. But it's all about managing the time. It's like finding the rhythm for the main videos, then allocating that time to work on the other stuff. And my 3 nights a week streaming is going to be beneficial to that because I'm just have so much more time to do other stuff. Hell, I might even push my start time like half an hour later. Just have that like extra half an hour for doing some extra stuff and things like that.
Definitely. Do we have any other resolutions, or shall we move on?
I got shitloads.
Okay, sure.
I've got so many ideas that I want to do. I've only said but I was going to say before we go on our own, this is what I was going to say at the start. Should we look at someone who we all inspires all of us? Ludwig.
Oh, yeah.
Ludwig's
his
goals of
resolutions,
last year.
Yeah.
Right? Because I feel like that's a good way, right? Yeah. We're all into this. Yeah. Oh. Everyone's excited.
I
Everyone's
watched this
so keen
video
for
as
that.
well. Like, again, he made a video about New Year's resolution, or New Year's goals rather, and it was fascinating. So he's just.
Well, it was a video about his personal 1 year on YouTube. That's what it was, right?
Yeah, and variations of Twitch and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so here were some of the goals he made for 2022. Okay. Run the largest Smash tournament. Continue YouTube series. This was discussing bro vs bro and stuff. Mogul Money live. So do Mogul Money in person in a theater. Go to Japan. 4 million subs on Ludwig. 500,000 peak viewership. Make cool events. Make a show with Charlie, not Charlie is so cool, like obviously he's talking about Moist Critical, and become a good IRL streamer. Now, obviously he didn't do all of these goals. He didn't go to Japan because Japan was closed until about 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. He didn't get 4 million subs, but he got close to it. He didn't get 500,000 peak viewership. He got 330,000 on the chess boxing event. He definitely made cool events, but he didn't become a good IRL streamer. It's not like he did many of those, you know what I mean? But the rest of it, he kind of managed to pull off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah.
And I think they're really, really interesting to look at the goals that he chose to do because I think they're not as intensely specific as what we would normally set.
Right.
You know, and I don't think they're as intensely as specific as what someone like, you know, Devin Nash or these marketing guys will tell you to set, right? They're a bit more like, to be honest, when I look at them, I see them as almost emotive, right? They're not smart goals in the sense that they're like, here is my specific set goals of everything I must do. They're actually just, they probably have all those things. But he's written them in a way that it makes it sound like he's just there spitballing with some mates about what excites him.
Yeah.
You know, run the largest Smash tournament. How fucking cool would that be, right? Like you can hear them saying that after it happens, you know? Mogul Money live, dude, that's so terrifying, but we should totally do that, right? Like you can almost get the voice of it. It's not like, I'm going to do Mogul Money live and I have to do it by this date and have this many tickets sold. And like, I'm sure that's all part of it.
Yeah.
But I love the voice that he's using, to like set his own goals, right? But I just think it's great. And I'm curious about what I could do in a similar vein. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I can even hear it, like when you said that his goal about 500K peak viewership. Like I can hear that in voice too. He's like, how cool would it be to have 500,000 people watching at once? Like, wouldn't that be absolutely bonkers for a live stream? Like you hear that passion. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's followed directly with make cool events. You know what I mean? It's not followed by deadlines or whatever it is. It's 500,000 viewers by making cool events. You know what I mean? It all comes together. It connects. And I just feel like a lot of people who are listening to this are probably setting their own goals, or they should be, and they're probably setting it in a way that's going to be like, you know, really specific, you know, really intensely specific. And partly because on our show we've talked about smart goals, and on Stream Scheme I fucking nailed it over and over and over. But also, I think a thing that we always forget is goals that make us excited. Right?
That is what I was going to touch on there. You did raise something, because you're right. Sometimes we go from a very analytical approach of like, I want to make X amount of money, which I said at the start, but it's kind of like, yeah, that's great, but it's kind of hollow because it's like, how do you make that money? But when it is that thing of like, make cool events, go overseas, like collaborate more by, doing this idea, it's so much more kind of like, yes, because that is a reason behind it rather than this is what I want. It's the reason behind a goal that makes it that much more interesting, I find.
Yeah, I find that's why I was trying to, when I was saying my goals at the start, why I was trying to be like, yeah, the things that I want to do is find my tone or release consistent content that I'm excited about. You know what I mean? Especially with that ranking video that I talked about, like that ranking video, I had it, I did it, but I don't feel like at any point while I enjoyed it, at no point was I super excited. You know what I mean? It was kind of like the thing that got me excited about that video was when I came up with the idea for the packaging. Yeah. Because I felt like it was a new way to package it. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, it's all right. You know, it's fine, whatever. And that really hit home that like, okay, why was I excited to do Magikarp and Lechonk, but I wasn't excited to do the ranking one? And so that's a big thing for me is I think I want to really focus on releasing those things that excite me, and I can sit there editing for 12 hours because I'm so happy with what I'm doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whereas with the ranking one, I'm just like, yeah, this is fun. There are a few moments in it where I laugh my ass off at my own jokes, which is a great thing to achieve, but I'm not like, I can sit here for fucking 12 hours editing this because I'm super into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely agreed.
Yep.
I was going to say is, now that we've talked about obviously Ludwig's kind of list that he has, what's yours, Eljay, or would you prefer to keep some of them to yourself?
No, I don't mind sharing. I don't mind sharing. If we're talking like less intense ones, like less like specific ones, I think a big one for me will be to start becoming known as the guy that does gaming and does funny things, less so the guy who does stream scheme stuff.
Right.
I think that's a big thing for me is I want to shift so people start to know me more as a person and less so as this education guy.
Gotcha.
And I think that's a really big one. And what Nick said earlier on his tech stuff, that he has to try and make sure he inserts a lot of himself into it. I think that was a big thing on Stream Scheme. Was the videos that did well, I inserted myself into a lot more. But at the same time, because of the difficulty that comes across with doing education or tech or stuff like that, is that people are there for a specific thing. So I'd really like to shift kind of my personal brand so people know me more as me. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, I think a big thing for me will also be weirdly, I would like to be able to stop calling Eljay the side channel and start calling it the main channel. Right. And so I want that to be doing well enough that I feel like that should have most of my time, and Stream Scheme can be like one video a month.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I would like to scale it so that to the point where Stream Scheme has consistently still got stuff going out, but it's way less. It's the side channel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I've got a few other projects as well that involving in stuff, but a lot of the next year and a lot of the deadlines I've set for myself kind of all just come down to really refocusing content creation. You know what I mean? Refocusing what I love to do, why I love to do it, getting excited again, getting involved in things again. And at the end of the day, feeling like this is something that I can do for a long time. Because over the last year, during streaming and during Stream Scheme and all these sorts of things, there have been a lot of times where I've thought to myself, God, I can't do this for the next 5 years.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I hear you. Yeah.
And so I think, whereas recently with the Eljay channel, I've started feeling like I can do it for longer. You know what I mean? And I've been able to have a lot more freedom, a lot more fun. Like the other day I made a short, right? Where I literally it was just a complete fucking troll. That's all it was. It was just me setting myself up to D's nuts everyone in the comment section, right? Mm-hmm. And it was, did you know there's a brand new Pokemon that no one's noticed in the Misa Goza sandwich shop? If we come inside and turn to the right, this Pokemon hasn't got a name, it's never been announced, and no one has noticed it yet. It has. It's a Gulpin from Hoenn region, right? But then I got a bunch of people writing the words, "You're an idiot, it's a Gulpin." And then I wrote back to them, "Gulpin on my balls. You're gulping on my nuts," you know? And I D's nuts like 50 people in the first day, right? And that was so fucking funny. Like, I was laughing my ass off. The short didn't do as well as I wanted, obviously, because people were like, "Fuck you." But I thought it was the funniest shit ever. It's
great.
Right?
You got the enjoyment out of it. That's the main thing.
Right? Whereas, like, it's just like, people are like, "You're a Pokemon failure for not knowing about Gulpin." And then I write back, "Hey, and you're a failure for not gulping on my balls." You know what I mean? You know, like, but I could never have done anything like that on Stream Scheme, right? You know what I mean? No. Like, or like, there's no way to like I wrote an entire video for Stream Scheme last year, that was an April Fool's video, where I went through and I compiled all of the worst advice and all of the worst takes that I'd heard over the last 2 years of people being like, you should do this, always make sure you do this, you know, just spend time in everyone's chats, constantly network, you know, while someone's live, ask if you can join their games. Like, and I had this whole thing where it's just me just like saying the worst advice ever, right? And getting more and more outlandish and more extreme and more wacky. I think the final one in the entire video, I can't remember if it's the final one or like near the end, I literally say, I found that one of the best things you can do is 24-hour streams and never take a break. That's why I wear a catheter when I do my 24-hour, like this really wacky shit. And I was like, I can't release this.
Yeah.
Because people won't get that it's a joke, right? The satire won't work. People, no matter what I do, I could look down the lens and say, "This video is satire. It is designed to make fun and is a joke. Please don't take it seriously." And people would still comment going, "How dare you promote bad, unhealthy habits for streaming?" Like,
that's me, by the way.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong.
That's very, but I like that. Like, in terms of, you've got very, I think, viable goals that can be reached. And again, it is kind of like what you consider success, because some of those you can be like, "Oh, I did achieve it. I did an achievement." If you set like a number to it, say, you know, like 500,000. But with this one's like finding your tone. That's going to be up to you to decide whether truthfully it was a success or it wasn't. And I think
I have the analytics ones too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I have those. They're just not the ones that I focus on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like everyone's heard the analytical ones before, right? Whereas listeners to this, they might get more ideas or learn more or get more excited by having a vary. You know, like you guys have said analytical ones or shifting focus ones. And I kind of wanted to bring a new perspective that wasn't just me being like, because obviously on the Eljay channel, I want to reach 25,000 subs. Like, that's a goal of mine that I want to get. You know what I mean? But everyone knows those things. And I kind of wanted to bring a new perspective and be like, there are emotional concepts to all of this as well. Excitement concepts or things like that.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, those, like, you know, talking about like injecting, you know, more tone and that kind of thing and yourself. by doing that, you end up with a better video. And by having a better video, it's going to perform well and will get you to that analytical goal that you're obviously wanting to achieve anyway. So it entirely make sense.
I think it's very pertinent to say that quality trumps everything. I honestly think that. Now, people can go, the more that you release, the more quantity that you have. Yeah, you can definitely keep up appearances and people click on it because they like your brand, but you've got to get to that position. Well, when you look back like 10 years in the past at YouTube videos, the ones that you watch are the ones that are quality, right? You don't watch just shit, right? You don't watch the Let's Plays that just go on for 2 hours or whatever it is. You go back and like, oh, remember that video of that one we'll talk about? Remember when C Nanas was with Gassy Mexican and he pretended to be Morgan Freeman and he was chasing him with a creepy voice? It's like those moments that you're like, God damn, that was funny. That was so good. Well, rather than the thing of like, oh yeah, there was that other video that, I don't know, they tried to, they just played a whole game of Mario Party together. And it's like, no, but nobody goes back to watch that crap. So I think it is the thing of like, quality to me is such a big thing that I want to achieve more so than quantity. And I do understand that there are very few YouTubers out there who can release like, say, one video a month that becomes like a spectacle. But when they do release it, you're kind of like, everybody fucking put your shit down. No phones out. Like, we've got to watch this. They put so much work. Like a guy that I followed who hasn't released a video in so long, but I used to love watching them, was a guy called Nerd City. And his videos had so much work and inspiration and just cutaways and everything was engaging to the eye. And I just wanted to be like that, but I know that I could never achieve it. I don't have that level of mechanical skill when it comes to like After Effects and stuff. But every time that you watch it, you're like, man, this person's putting a lot of work, and that's why I'm so engaged by it, rather more so than the spit out content. But again, that's up to you in terms of what you want to achieve. But I always think that quality will trump quantity. But maybe I'm wrong.
No, I agree as well. I think a big thing to remember that is even YouTube says themselves, like releasing more doesn't necessarily mean success. Releasing quality means success.
Yeah.
But when you're starting out, you need to release more so you can gain quality and so that you can actually understand, so the algorithm can understand you.
Definitely. Boys, I would like to move on unless you've got more. Nick, do you have more goals that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'm all good. We can definitely move on. Yeah.
Sure. I was just thinking like, how about if we look at content creation in general for the next year? What do you think is going to become apparent in this next year that we haven't seen in previous years on where people's focus should be or will be when it comes to 2023? Do you have any predictions of what content creation will be like?
I mean, I think if you look back sort of like years ago, like there was, a lot of sort of, I guess you could sort of say like teens and just like, people in general, with the gaming rise on YouTube and like Let's Plays, things like that, there's a lot of people being like, I want to do that. Like, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be like a Let's Play and stuff like that. And then, of course, the rise of streaming happened. And, of course, being a streamer was a lot easier. It was like, you can set up a bunch of overlays, you get a webcam, get a microphone, you go live, right? There's obviously a lot less work required than making an entire YouTube video. I honestly think that for this year, we're going to see the flip. We're going to see people actually turning either what people that are getting into content creation, not just going straight to Twitch to be a streamer. Like generally, we're going to see more people just going straight to YouTube and trying to get onto that process, whether it is like they start live streaming, but also actually making the occasional video or the shorts and things like that. And I think we're just going to see in general, just more streamers leaving Twitch, moving over to YouTube. I think that's just inevitable. Mm-hmm. I think YouTube's hit a point where we're not going to see any big paid like creator moves. Like they've paid their bit, like some big creators to move over. They've, and that's obviously been successful. They've actually, built quality features for their platform. Shorts are all like the shorts, live and videos, like it's all interconnected now. Like Eljay mentioned, the shorts monetization's coming soon. There's the rumor. We don't know when. We're not, I guess rumor, but like the thumbnail testing feature that you shared.
They've been promising that for years. Yeah. We'll see whether they do it.
Yeah, whether or not it's true. But like the idea that there's a possibility in the future as well. Like they're actually just doing so many things that just are making them, putting themselves as the best choice for people who want to get into content creation. So we're going to see just in general, I think a bit more of a general exodus, because YouTube's like, we've got the better platform from a feature set and usability and discoverability. We don't need to pay any massive creators to come over from Twitch anymore.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, continue, Nick. No, go.
Yeah, I was saying, and I think we probably will see watch time still decrease a bit. We'll probably see a spike in January because holiday season's over. Everyone who's gone on vacations, gone to visit family, like everyone's like all coming home, and everyone's like exactly taking time off, taking breaks and whatever. So I think we will see a spike in January, but then I think it's going to sort of like dip down to how it's been going and that kind of trend. But that's sort of like one of my sort of major predictions, I think.
I think that's a very good prediction. And I'd have to echo it because, again, we all know that this is happening, and I'm only making this because I think it's an inevitability. We know how big Twitch creators are going to go from 70-30 to 50-50. And if they see that they can do live streaming on a different platform, which they can set the kind of, ratio and the prices and everything, come July of this year, I expect to see a big swivel in terms of where the big long form content creators, aka streamers, will see themselves. And I think we're going to see a lot more people focusing on YouTube, maybe even moving over to YouTube. But it's going to be very interesting come July when an exodus will definitely happen. I'm not saying it's going to be huge or anything, but I do think there's going to be some considerable announcements and changes to the people who want to make money. And if they're getting 50-50 from bringing, say, Hassan or something who's got 30,000 people watching him, and he's like, I'm getting 50-50 for this when, I'm getting this amount of subs. Maybe my time spent better elsewhere, maybe opening a Patreon. I don't know. But we're going to see different avenues that are not going to rely on Twitch subs because, again, the split isn't good enough for those big creators. That's what I see as one of my predictions of 2023 come July. Eljay, do you have any predictions?
I think it's pretty much the same as what we've always said on the pod. I just find that 2023 is going to be a year where there's going to be some make it or break it moments, I think, in the terms that I think that as people who have put all their eggs in one basket are going to start having a lot of realizations, and it's going to be a lot more difficult. Like I find a lot of people are like, they're really angry at Twitch, but not doing anything to prepare. You know what I mean? Like we've known for a long time now what the split is. We've known for a long time what their rules are and stuff. And I don't want to just make it a whole like, oh, Twitch bad, YouTube good. Because I don't think Twitch is going to go anywhere. But I think there's a lot of people who it's a tricky time for them. You know what I mean? And I just think the next year is going to be like the real make it or break it moments. You know, really the decision to what's going to happen next, how we're going to move forward, what you're going to do to move forward. Really the time to start was a year ago or 6 months ago. But I also think that if they haven't yet, they need to really kick in. You know what I mean? Because it's a whole new space. And at the end of the day, YouTube's just constantly updating themselves and trying to be creator focused because they're trying to like obviously be competitive. Whereas I find Twitch, they're releasing a lot of features, but they're not being very creator focused, I find, which is the big thing. Yeah. So I don't know. My big prediction will be that it's going to be the make it or break it. A lot of people who have not set themselves up, who've not taken the advice, have not put the time and energy into the parts that are long term, they're really going to have to decide where they're putting their time.
I think you're right. It's completely about adaptability. You have to adapt. And because the thing is like content creation always adapts. Remember when Vine was the big thing and then it just went under? And then people went to YouTube and they became huge over there. And some people just fizzled out or didn't want to do it. But that's why I've made like the decision as well to move over to Kick. So I will be making my 95% on Kick. And I think I've set myself up there. All my eggs are going in that basket. So I'm now
definitely the best one. And Hive as well. Everyone loves Hive.
I mean, Reapz said he's like, he can't be bothered with Twitter. It's like, there's Hive.
I'm just gonna go slots, boys. I think that's where the money is, and that's what people want to see these days. So I'm gonna be a slot streamer in 2023. But those are our predictions for kind of content creation. If we've got any others, please let us know. But let's just do a funny one before we do what I think a lot of people are here for, and that's our advice going into 2023, what would give people. But before that, let's just go with the craziness that are general predictions of the world, right? It can be anything. So previously, when I do this with my friend every year, we make 3 stupid predictions, or not stupid, just predictions in general about the world. And one of mine was the Queen will pass away in the upcoming year, and that came true. And I was like, I am now responsible for the death of the monarchy to a degree. So I apologize. But if you've got any crazy predictions or just anything general, let me know, boys.
I want to start by mentioning one of the examples that you wrote in there, which was Prince William commits regicide.
And
honestly,
don't know what
here's the thing,
regicide
though,
is. It's killing a king or a queen to get the crown.
Yeah.
Continuing on. Sorry, that was just one of my funny things. But I don't think
Love
that's
it.
going to be mine. But yeah, just
No,
just
that
say
is definitely.
Yeah.
You have to commit to that one now.
Okay, Prince William will commit regicide.
Or
on
Prince
his
Harry.
father.
I feel like if anyone's going to commit regicide, it's
Oh
probably
yeah,
gonna be
maybe Harry with all the
Yeah.
with all the craziness happening. That's true. But yeah, I'll let you boys go. Any predictions for the world in general?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think that when it comes to 2023, when you add all those numbers up, right? 2 plus 0 is 2.
Okay, hold on.
Plus 2 equals 4.
4.
Okay. Plus 3 equals 7.
7
okay.
deadly sins. Yeah.
Now,
Plus
no,
L.
no. Yeah,
Plus ratio.
okay, you've kind of got there. 7 deadly sins, but also 7 wonders of the world.
Okay.
I think that each of the wonders of the world will slowly deteriorate. Okay. And what we won't realize is that the reason they were wonders is that they were supposed to be looked after and cared for in wonder, because what they actually do is they house the 7 deadly sins of the world. And because of our own humanity's hubris, okay, this will be the year that we have accidentally caused the 7 wonders to decay enough that the seals will break and the 7 sins will break out and destroy the earth. If you'd like to join my new religion, I have a blog about it.
Is it on the LJM YouTube?
No, it's called 7 Deadly Sins Lust Edition. I probably should have picked a different sin.
Lust edition.
Yeah.
So
but
are you saying that the apocalypse is happening this year and all humanity will be wiped out, or more just we're living now with 7 deadly sins in a completely different earth?
I don't know if they'll wipe all humanity out, but I think that something bad will happen this year when they break out. Because obviously there'll be people. I'm curious whether or not they'll go the old route of wipe everyone out, or whether they'll go, we each pick an apostle.
Okay.
And so like we're gonna go be, this guy is now the greed apostle and he causes problems, and this one's the lust and they'll cause problems. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm just saying that they're gonna come.
The 7 deadly sins will be coming to life in physical form, which are being housed at the moment by the 7 wonders of the world.
Real life will be
Yes.
anime. What
Okay,
I've always dreamed of.
great. That is a beautiful thing. Nick, do you have any predictions for the world at large?
Yes. I'm gonna be a chainsaw demon. I think yes. I'm really liking Chainsaw Man. It's great. I think the buyout of Activision Blizzard, I think that'll go through.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with that one. So I think that's going to go through. And I think we won't see like anything much come of it this year, but I think that deal will get finalized and Microsoft will get closer to world domination.
I think Microsoft is definitely on the heels of world domination at the moment, especially if they keep buying more and more things. By the way, complete aside, Nick, a few weeks ago, I started playing Outer Wilds, and I finished it, obviously. This is 2023.
I'm so sad I missed it.
That community is phenomenal. Like,
yes.
I always thought to myself, sometimes I go stream and I don't get any follows, right? Like for specific categories, but it's over and dated, or people just aren't interested, whatever. But when you go into Outer Wilds, the amount of people that come in just to watch you figure things out or like experience the world for the first time, worlds, I should say, for the first time, is phenomenal. I'm having such a blast with it, and I'm disappointed that I didn't start it earlier. So that's what I'm going to say when it comes to Annapurna games. They're so freaking good.
Can you please tell me your VODs are still up, because I need to go back.
Oh yeah, I literally, okay, let me pull back the curtain. I only did like 3 hours yesterday, and because it's 2023, I'm just going to guessing that I finished the game.
Oh, right,
yeah,
okay.
I'm
Gotcha.
Yes.
Excellent.
But yeah, I'm going to say, obviously, I talked about the regicide. I think Prince William's going to become unhinged and really want that crown from his dad. That's what I'm going to say. And I guess in the world in general, I think we're going to find out that the flat earthers were right. Okay, and there is an ice wall with a dome. Yeah.
Hang on. Wait, if the flat earthers are right, does that mean we've been fake? Does that mean Australians aren't
We don't
real?
live in Australia, Nick. All right. Like they've said that we live in Australia, but this is like the Truman Show. They're just putting us in this bubble so that they can continue on with everything. But
We're
that
just
is my
AI. That's
flat
it.
earther. You're correct. We are not real. We are AI. That's exactly right. You've been
paid
listening to
actors.
AI this whole time. It was a big experiment. So that is my prediction. But boys, I think this is coming towards the climax. Would I say that's a bit of a dirty word? But let's just say it. The climax of the podcast, and that is what one piece of advice would we give for people in 2023 going forward from now until the end of the year that you think will reap the most benefits or advantages if they're hoping to make content creation their career?
Wank more.
Make more?
Wank
Quantity.
more.
Oh, okay. All right. Wank more. Okay, good.
I think that for me, I would say the big one is that if you're not enjoying it, what's the point of doing it? Because if you're not doing content creation as a job, well, then you're supposed to be at least having fun with it as a hobby.
Okay.
So if you're not enjoying it and it's still just a hobby, you got to do something. You change it up, do something else or something like that. If you're going into 2023, now's not the time to just like bang your head against a wall and not enjoy yourself, especially if it's not a job yet.
Yeah.
Because you got to do something else if you're not having fun. And if you're not having fun, what's the point?
Truly. Like, you have to you got to love it. And like this, what we've been talking, I feel like if it comes up in almost every episode, it's like, what is the core reason that you get into content creation? Why are you making the content? What do you want to do? That's it.
That's it. It's the reception, isn't it? I think when it comes to content creation, if you're happy showing other people and excited and you're excited doing it, like even when you're filming, editing to me is the place where I'm like, this is the make or break. If I'm not excited while I'm editing, I'm like, this is a lost cause because even I can't make this look good. And that to me is like always a downer. And I've thrown away many videos. I'm like, oh, it's just shit, dude. Like you haven't done anything that's good. So I find that editing is the best thing to kind of prove to yourself that, yes, I have a vision and I'm going to show that vision. And hopefully it's so unique or rather so rewarding to the viewer that they keep coming back for more. And that's always a good thing. Nick, do you have any piece of advice for people out there for 2023?
Yeah, I think that, sometimes, a lot of the times the best things, the biggest goals that you want to achieve, like they require the most work.
Yeah.
And it is like this business is tough work. It's hard. And, a lot of people, will like procrastinate or too lazy, or they're just like, they look at it and they look at this giant mountain of like, oh, it's going to take so much work to get there, this and that. And like, I know that feels that way. I've gone through it, still going through it. You're right. But I think you need to take every day one step at a time and really get down to the nitty gritty of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve and just do it. Like the whole meme of like, Shia LaBeouf, just do it. Like legitimately, you need to just do it. Like it is going to be hard work. Like we're not sugarcoating it. It is. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. But if you really are passionate and you want to make something of content creation, you just got to put the work in. And like, everyone's lives and schedules are different, right? You got to work around whatever you're currently dealing with, whether you're working full time or, maybe you're unemployed at the moment or, so many things or, whatever you're dealing with, right? You've got to work within your means, right? But you should never overstep. Like Eljay says, like, you shouldn't be putting like, unless, like you shouldn't be putting like a crazy amount of time and effort and money into something if it's not like you're currently supportive, like your career and it's like monetarily supporting you. Like it's a hobby, treat it as a hobby. If you want it to be more, then put those steps in place. It doesn't mean just throw caution to the wind and risk it all. Be like, I'm quitting my job, but here we go.
Oh yeah.
Do it responsibly, but you just have to put a bit of work in and work hard.
Yeah. Completely agreed. And I think I'm not going to go more into what Eljay Nick says because I think that the mentality state is what you need to know. Like, that it's for you. It's not for you. If you're excited, you're not excited. So for me, I'm going to take much more of a technical standpoint. And I think a lot of people are missing the key major thing that we touched on a little bit earlier. And that's how people consume media. How do people consume media, especially the ones that you're watching? Say you watch TikTok, Reels, whatever it is. What ones engage you the most, right? And I think the big thing that everybody needs to be doing right now is subtitling their first 15 seconds or so, and especially subtitling all their shorts. Because people these days do not put the sound on. There's so many sound on, sound off. And if you can't watch your own video with sound off, then it shouldn't be released. Because again, who else is going to watch it? If they're like, oh, I can't listen with sound on right now, they're going to swipe past it, right? So I would say the biggest technical thing that I can give you is make subtitles for your videos. Yes, it's time consuming. Yes, it's going to be hard, but there's so many plugins. There's so many, templates you can just download and put on the text that makes it flashy and everything like that. We all use it. A lot of editors use it. So please subtitle your stuff, because I do think this is going to be the year of short form content. And the short form content is going to lead you to your long form content. And it's going to be very hand in hand and very, cyclical in terms of how it works out. So I would say that would be my biggest piece of advice. Short form content is going to be king, and subtitles gets more engagement because of it. So that's my piece of advice.
Little self plug. I've actually got a video that I'm going to be working on very soon, which is going to be a really quick and easy way to actually get subtitles for your videos.
Is that the Premiere Pro thing, or is it?
It's a combination of a few things.
Okay, yeah. Transitions. Yep. Okay, cool. Boys, this was our first podcast of 2023. We are dropping frames. Is there anything else that you would like to say before we end this episode?
Yeah, well, we're forgetting one thing.
Oh.
Our goals for the Stream Room podcast that we mentioned at the beginning.
Oh, yes. Apologies. Here we go.
You each have to come up with one, and I will write it down on this board right here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, come up with a goal. I'll start. I got it. We are known as a podcast, right? I would like us to create another piece of content. It could be a monthly thing. It can be, I don't know, a mini episode or something that goes outside the bounds of podcast. Like, so we form it into an actual brand. That is what? N-E-W. So I'm just reading what Eljay is writing down. He's doing very well because he's looking into his monitor and writing
very
backwards
impressive.
technically. So a new form of content, whether that's us playing a video game together, whether that's us, I don't know, maybe doing a mini podcast or a vodcast of movies, something completely different from, well, not completely, but for content creation in general, something a little bit silly. So a new piece of media that we add to the stream room. That's what I would like to see.
Excellent.
I could, a new format that goes under the stream room banner, whether that's
Beautiful.
like additional, but that's what I would like to see.
All right, Nick, you're up.
I think it would be great. I'd love to see us get a little more creative and ambitious with some concepts for episodes of the podcast. Whether it's, like in content creation, like kind of, touches with sort of the new format you mentioned, Reapz, but also I think just getting a bit more ambitious and creative with some of the ideas and some of the themes and formats we put forward for an episode. It's like something a bit more like that, a lot more planning that goes into something a bit more of like, in depth and like a spectacle for an episode.
Definitely.
New ideas.
Yeah.
Looks
Nice.
like new brie, like we're buying cheese. I like
New
it.
brie.
It's reversed. It looks good in real life. It's reversed on camera.
Oh, yeah.
Got
For
it.
sure, for sure.
Okay, and then my idea. Okay, my idea. I would like for us to be. I want it to be less about content creation.
Okay.
Because I think we should be a bit. I'm trying to write back. Hold on. I'm trying to write backwards.
Yep, be
But
less.
I think we should be less. Be less. That's fine. Be less. I think we need to be less about content creation and break away from that and be more about just generally who we are in 2023. I know that everyone likes coming here because they want to learn about content creation, and that's fine. We can still talk about that. But I feel like at a certain point we're going to end up just going over the same things, and it's nice to just talk about something else,
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
Avatar 2, which I talked about last week and stuff. Definitely.
Yes.
Okay, so there are our three. So a new format, new ideas that are kind of think outside the box of just content creation, and then be less about kind of education, advice, opinion, whatever it is, and more kind of about us and
Exactly.
what we like. And hopefully you like our personalities. And fuck this camera. That's what my own one's going to be, buying a new camera. Buying a new camera for 2023. But boys, we are dropping frames. Thank you so much for listening to us for a year. Can I just say, next week's
whole year.
episode, Eljay is going to be the host of it. That will be 52 episodes released. That is an entire year that we have done this podcast, and we've only missed one episode in that time. So exciting things. We give us a round of applause, pat on the back, and everything like that we've done it. But thank you so much for listening. If you have gotten this far, please drop a like, a comment, and all that kind of shit. But from us here at the Stream Room, we're going to say adios. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye.